The links to send me art for the channel or weed. It's legal in California. Now, I have never used it, but maybe if you sent some, I could be persuaded to try. Send me whatever you want through the mail as long as it's legal. Just let me know so I can check. I would love it if you'd send me hard copies of your art because my walls are completely bare. Dynamite Thor and Bless This Mess are live. If you want to see a Muslim fundamentalist get nuked, check it out. So I saw Strange Academy. The cover looks like it was created in a politically correct think tank. Plenty of diversity and body diversity because childhood obesity is such a good thing. Which is funny because I think today is the World Health Organization Obesity Awareness Day. And it's not like obesity is really sneaking up on people. We're quite aware of it. And there was a lot of triggered fat chicks on Instagram. Hashtags, all bodies are beautiful, except that they aren't. If all bodies were beautiful, you wouldn't need to say that. It's like people don't say all kittens are cute because they don't have to. Everyone knows all kittens are cute. It's weird that the body positivity movement seems to... It's the only movement that doesn't really move. Seems to exclude straight men. It's almost as if straight guys, in fact, know that all bodies are not beautiful. Because nobody lies to the fat straight men. They know ugly is ugly. Beauty is more than skin deep, you bigot. No, that's the definition of beauty. If you're talking about their personality, you're referring to their personality. It's something else. An obese body is an unhealthy one. Disease is not beautiful. Anyway, now that I alienated 30% of the audience, the comic starts neutrally enough. If a comic opens with a black girl, it is 100% going to be an overpowered purse puppy. If it's a blonde character, it's going to be evil because the people who work in comics believe German-looking characters are synonymous with evil. I have no idea why. Germans are the best. They are super. Needle scratch on record sound here. So when the introductory lead character and her parents have black hair, it tells you that these characters have yet to be determined. It's basically Harry Potter, but with a vagina. Except that little girls don't buy a lot of comics, so I'm guessing this comic will not do well. What a stunning and brave prediction. Hey, bigot, men could read about girls, except they don't want to. They really, really don't want to. It's their bodies, their choice, and this comic should be aborted. Can I be pro-abortion up to, say, 360 months? If your kid is in Seattle, Portland, or San Francisco and dressing up in a black ski mask, you should be able to abort them. How old is your baby? Oh, I'm in my 120th trimester. Get the coat hanger. It's cool, it's just a clump of cells. There goes another 5 subs. So the girl has a black friend because you really have to squeeze that diversity in there somewhere. But what I don't understand is why there are no Mexicans. Why Mexicans are underrepresented in Marvel Comics in general. In 2040, in 20 years, Mexicans will be the majority in America. Why doesn't Marvel put them in their comics? Marvel Comics seems to think America is 30% black, 30% evil blonde Germans, and 30% Middle Eastern. It's really weird. It's as if Marvel is nothing more than thinly disguised propaganda. So Miss Black-Haired, morally ambiguous fights a tree, but gets her ass kicked all the way back to the Shire. So her spicy Latina neighbor jumps in to save the day. Since they both have black hair, Marvel will rank the characters by skin tones. The slightly darker one will be the better character. If this sounds insane to you, go read some Marvel comics. You'll learn that I'm not exaggerating. It really is this freaking crazy and predictable. And predictability makes a very boring story. So a vaguely brown lady emotionally manipulates the parents into enrolling their daughter into Hogwarts. And you'll be happy to learn that absolutely nobody in this comic has more than A cups, except the fat dudes. They've got nice big jugs. Introduce the black girl, who is half fairy and way too chipper. Then the poop hits the fan. They introduce 2 blonde boys. And I know that they just introduced the bad guys. They are 100% guaranteed to be istophobic, sexist bigots because they look like, well, say, German youth of the 1930s. And in Marvel Comics, the blonde man is always bad. Always. I'll go with 95%. Reading this comic, when I got to this part right here, I see the two blonde characters, not really drawn in. It's just vaguely introducing them. And already they start with slightly hostile dialogue. What is the introduce? They say, you can tell who they are by the script. It has a slight, everyone gets their own font. And so the Asgardians are, excuse me, are you the welcome committee? Which seems like a perfectly neutral thing. And then the guy says, maybe our decision needed a bit more thought. Okay, already you're established them as kind of jerk-offs. And the one of the characters says, and who might you be? My name is Eirik of Asgard, and this handsome devil besides me is my brother. Sweet Lord. So the little black girl in the bottom right-hand corner with the, I don't know what you call those dreadlocks, I guess. The little black fairy, she looks at the monster and she says how beautiful it is because she's a black girl and is beyond bigotry. She sees the inner beauty in every living creature because that is how Marvel treats black people. Of course, the two blonde boys see the monster and immediately I don't know why those chicks are in burqas behind them. Look like if linebackers were wearing burqas. So the two blonde boys see the monster, immediately respond with violence because that is, of course, who is violent in America? Little blonde boys. I mean, you and I both know that is absolute horse excrement. That reminds me, Twitter was doing a thing showing how Asians are being treated because of the Wu flu scare. People posted dozens of videos of Asians being robbed and beaten in America, presumably some relation to the Wu flu. Though, I mean, really, if you thought someone was infected, you'd stay the F away from them. How do I say this? It wasn't blonde people attacking the Asians. It's like the elephant in the room regarding who is attacking Asians. Anyway, in the comics, it's F Whitey 100% of the time, because why not? But Loki comes to break up the fight and put the boys in their place. Oh, so the girl, the little half black, half fairy girl with dreadlocks looks at this monster and says, oh, how beautiful. Listen, we obviously have different definitions of the word beauty. If everything is beautiful, then you've taken all meaning out of the word. Is all art beautiful? No. Jackson Pollock is a Pollock. A Matisse, Monet, a Van Gogh. They're all beautiful in different ways, but they're not the same as some idiot who just throws paint on a canvas. They're not all beautiful. All bodies are not beautiful. People who, they're eating vegetables and exercising low carb and low calorie at keto and at whatever, low body fat. That's a beautiful body. It's symmetrical and it's just awesome. It's healthy and strong and fit and capable of reproduction. That meets classical definitions of beauty. If you're saying any piece of garbage is beautiful, then the word you said this word has no meaning. But that's what cultural Marxists do. It's like they change words. Well, guess what? Guess what, kids? If they can change definitions, then you can just change them back. I have some more to say on this, but I won't say it on YouTube. I'll save it for BitChute. Anyway, so the vaguely brown teacher condescends to Loki because he has lighter skin than her. That is literally how Marvel works. But why didn't she break up the fight? Marvel makes the absolutely worst characters. They are proud of themselves for other people's accomplishment. Then the headless horseman guy shows up, and the blonde boys immediately respond with violence because Marvel wasn't subtle enough the first time. I guess Marvel is trying to show you how judgmental and intolerant blonde people are, which is nonsense. They're the nicest people on Earth. Too nice, really. Well, that will probably be their downfall. But Marvel is also trying to show how violent they are, which is absolutely statistically false. So why does Marvel do this? That actually is a good question. One I would like to talk to the fourth age about, but it would get us kicked off YouTube. Anyway, thank God for the principal who comes and puts the boys in their place. Of course, it's a black principal because, why not? You can't have a blonde man in a position of authority at Marvel. Except now that I think about it, maybe perhaps for, like behind the scenes. Is Mark Waid bald? I mean, blonde before he went bald? I think he was. Was he in a position of authority or just kind of in a position? The principal gives the blonde boys a lecture on their privilege. Blonde privilege is working harder and harder and being better than everyone around you. But like, whatever. I guess he forgot that affirmative action literally means blondes have to be smarter or they don't get into school. But let's not talk about that. Then the vaguely brown teacher puts Loki in his place once again. So the kids get their room assignments, but Marvel isn't that woke. It pairs them by sex, which seems awfully sexist to me. Of course, the blonde boy is an intolerant bigot because Marvel really wants you to know how badly they hate the whites. Then while the colored girls of color are having a heart-to-heart... What's this? Does this look like Hogwarts? Okay, there was one funny scene where the two boys are talking. Okay, so the two girls are all besties, instant best friends, all smiles. Just like over the top. Just somebody's tickling your butthole. You're so effing happy and just snorting cocaine and lithium. So while they're having that heart-to-heart and getting along, you have the blonde guy being a jerk-off. Two guys are being jerk-offs, but the only one that's identifiably human is, of course, blonde guy. And then you have this weird sexual scene where these two girls are having a heart-to-heart. And then you have the blonde guy, how do I look? Pretty sick, right? I'm so preppy. And they kind of use this scene to show how much of a jerk-off he is, but it's not really that big a deal. It's just in context. It's just it's also tiresome is what it is. It's really, really tiresome. Have you ever stopped to ask why every single time it's blonde man bad? In fact, one of the visiting professors is a white dude with red hair down there. Did I get a shot of him? Who has a pentagram on his chest, just so you could be absolutely positive that he's evil. Anyway, you can click the links to support the channel and check out Dynamite Thor and Bless This Mess. And one of those comics is a scene where the hero rips off a Islamic dude's heads off, which is probably not Bless This Mess. It's probably Dynamite Thor. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next episode.